Hello. Good evening, crafters. We'll just give this a second to come on and get started. It's nice to see you again on a Which One Wins Wednesday. This is another set from our celebration, which is items that you can only get for free. The only way you can get these items is to put in an order for $60 for some things and $120 for others. And the set that we're looking at today is the Berry Blessings stamp set, and it also comes with paper. So last night I posed the question which ones you wanted to see, and the one that we settled on was this very pretty blue. This is a Pacific Point. Is that nice dark blue, same as this. This is the other side of the paper. And our other option was this, also a beautiful color. This is rich raspberry, and then of course the other side. So it had some raspberries, blackberries. Yeah, so the nice thing about this set is you get, if you spend $120, you can get this set for free. You get the stamp set and the 12 by 12 paper. So these are some of the other options in there. I'll just pull this out here. So this has all the berries on it and a really beautiful green basket weave on the back. And we've got this one, which has strawberries and flowers, and then this Poppy Parade red on the back of that one. And then I think we have one more sheet. Oh, two more sheets. My apologies. And so with this, you get two of each one of these. So this one is the strawberries, and this one looks fantastic with the strawberry punch. So you can punch out a strawberry and have all the little seeds right on it. And then we've got this raspberries and this nice greenery on the back. So if you are comfortable, I would love for you to say hi if you are watching this evening. And hi, Mom, nice to see you here. So we're going to get started. We're going to make two different cards, and we're going to be working with this really beautiful Pacific Point. It's a nice bright blue. Some of the other things that we're going to be using, this ribbon is from a set of 3 in the annual catalog. So this is one of them, and the others are like a wider purple one, and I think a pool party maybe one. Anyways, this is a really beautiful thin navy one. And so the stamp set that we're going to be using, this Berry Blessings, and we're going to be doing the blueberries tonight. So I wanted to show you what I did with our stamp set. The colors in this are Granny Apple Green and Garden Green for the greens. And then there's the one I'm using is Pacific Point and Night of Navy. And it would take a long time to show the background paper that I made, but this is just some background paper that I made. And how I made it is I took the outline of the blueberry and I stamped that full strength onto our cardstock. And then I took the inside part and I stamped off. So you may have seen that done before. So you full ink, then stamp on a scrap piece of paper to take off a bunch of it. And then it makes a really light color of the same one. So I will show you how that looks on here. So that's what I did with the greenery as well. I did the darker color for the outline and then the lighter color. And so this one is the Night of Navy and this one is the Pacific Point. So you can make your own background paper. So it's quite a bit of stamping, so I'm not going to show you that, but I just did randomly on all over there, and we're going to use this as part of our background for one of our cards. So the first card that we're going to make is this one here. And so we're going to use a small strip of this side of the paper. You could use the other side if you prefer. And we'll get started. So all we need to begin is our Pacific Point paper. That's an 8.5 by 11. And we're going to use our paper trimmer here to just cut this in half. So this is the 8.5 side. So we're going to cut this at 4 1/4. Put that to the side for our next card. And then we're going to score this at 5 1/2. And see, I'm starting to get a little bit of a jagged edge, so I probably need to change out my trimmer blade sooner than later. You don't need to trade out your scoring blade, which is the lighter blade on here. This is the cutting, this is the scoring. But yes, this one might need a bit of a sharpen, which you can do by grabbing some tin foil and running your blade through, just cutting the tin foil. That'll give your blade a little bit of a sharpening. So I will start with that, and if it doesn't work, then I'll switch out to my to a new blade. So we're just going to fold this in half along our score line, and there we go. Okay, so now we've got this piece of paper, and I think it's at 2 inches, but I'll check that. I want it at 2 inches. So let's check. Yep, so that's 2 inches. And, oh, hi, Susan. Thanks very much. Yeah, they're beautiful colors together. And then we're going to cut this at 5 inches. So we're going to take off a full 1/2 inch off of there. Okay. So now we're going to grab a piece of basic white, and so this has been cut also at 4 inches. So it, this is 2 inches, this is 4 inches. So this will be lining up on our card, and we're going to come in here and we're also going to cut this at 5 inches. So glad you could join us this evening, Susan. It's nice to meet you. Okay. So we're just going to use a little bit of adhesive. You can use whatever adhesive you have. I'm using Stampin' Seal, and I'm just going to put some on here and adhere this onto the front of our card. I'm just leaving a white border right here, and then we're going to get this on here, but not quite, because we're going to wrap this in ribbon, this ribbon here that we've talked about. So Celebration, if you aren't sure about what that is, with Stampin' Up, we do usually once a year, but I think this year it's going to be twice a year. We're going to have this special incentive, I guess, to put some orders in. And as I said, when you make an order of $60, you get something free from the Celebration catalog. This is, because it's a stamp set and paper set, it's going to be $120 order will get you all of this free. So I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal Plus. It's just a little bit stronger, and I'm just going to lay a little bit of my adhesive on the back here, and I'm going to put the ribbon into that and come across I'll just help hold that down. So we've got that just like that. And then the next thing, this is how I cheat to do my bows. So rather than wrap our ribbon all the way around and then try to tie it, instead, I put one piece down and adhere it. And then I take this piece and I tie it under here. And then I just give myself enough space that I'm going to have enough space to tie my bow. So the other thing I'm using tonight is the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I'm using a set of dies called, what's it called? Stitched So Sweetly. So I'll show you that in a second. It might be one of my, I think it might be my favorite of the dies. It is very beautiful and it really helps with layering projects like the one that we're going to be doing now and our second card as well. And so then I just do 2 bunny ears and tie my bow on here, and then it's just a little bit easier to tie it, and it leaves a smaller knot so it doesn't pop up in your card too much. So I'm just going to fiddle with this until I like it. And if you're watching and you have any questions about what I'm doing, I'd be happy to answer them. I wish that we were on Zoom so I could actually speak with you, but I can definitely see your comments in the chat if you have any questions. So I'm just going to give this a little trim. Oops, that was not a very nice trim. Do that again. And this side also needs a little trim. Okay, so there's the front, the first start of our card. Okay, I'm just going to put that to the side, and I'm going to show you our Stitched So Sweetly dies so that you know what I am talking about. Took some of these off. So dies are a really nice way to add some dimension to your cards. If you have punches, you could use punches as well for what we're doing today. If you had 2 that can fit together and you can layer with. So the one we're using for this card, we're going to use this larger one right here and the one that's one size smaller. And we're going to use some of these rectangles on our next card. So we're going to grab our machine. And no, actually we're going to stamp first. So I'm going to grab a piece of Whisper White, and I'm also going to grab, this is a little pad that I like to use to, these ones are not from Stampin' Up. Mom, these ones are, I do have a pair that look almost exactly like this that are, oh, here they are. These ones are the ones from Stampin' Up. They're called the Paper Snips. They're great. I have a bunch of pairs of scissors around. Yeah, so I'm going to stamp on this. This gives it a little bit of padding. So as you can see there, it's a little bit thick, and it just lets the stamp sink in a little bit to the surface. So we're going to do our sentiment on this one, and the one I'm going to grab is this one. It says, "You always have a way of making my day." Now, if you happen to have the set from our new mini catalog, the Sweet Strawberry, that's this one. It comes with the punch that has the strawberry and the stem and the flower and the leaf. It's a one punch that has all 4 in it. You could use any of these sentiments because they have the same script. They all match together. So if you happen to have this one, and if you were to buy this one and then you got this Berry Blessings one for free, they do complement each other really nicely. So, hi Tracy, thanks for joining us. So isn't this funny? Everybody who is on tonight that is sitting here chatting is part of that Buy Nothing group. And I know that we're all sprouting off today, or I guess it's today is the start of that. So everybody is close by. So I'm just going to ink up my my stamp here, and I'm going to come in, give that a nice stamp. There we go. So that was a really nice one. On the card that I actually did before this, I did not use my pad, and I can tell you it makes a huge difference. I will show you the difference when you use the pad and when you don't use the pad. The difference is, it's big. So there was a little bit of white here where it didn't get all the way down. This is just a much deeper, nicer color. So I always recommend, because I'm working on a table that is a folding table, it doesn't have the same stability as like a nice wood surface. And so that is why I use this pad, and you can tell when I don't. So my mistake, I did this stamp earlier with the wrong one. Okay, so I'm just going to clean this off on my chamois. This takes all the color off. When you use colors that are like pinks and reds, they sometimes will stain your photopolymer stamps, but it doesn't affect the stamp in any way. All right, so we finished with that stamp. Let's put my chamois to the side. Okay, we wanted to do this because we're going to cut this out using our smaller one, and then we can line that up really well on there in our embossing machine. So here's our embossing machine, and these sides fold up for storage, and we're going to be using 4 of the plates. We've got number 1, and then the number 2, and that just gives it a nice little shim. And then we're going to put down one of our cutting plates, and we'll put that on there. Let me know if my internet is going in and out at all. I do believe I hear my son playing video games, even though he's not supposed to be when I'm doing Facebook Live. So if my feed is not great, please let me know. I will shut him down. So we're just going to crank the handle of this and bring it on through. There we go. And I want to just thank everybody who came out to our first class last week. When I say came out, I mean joined us on Zoom. Had a really great time on Friday night. I enjoyed that immensely. So I have another class coming up very soon, and I'm going to be announcing that, I think, tomorrow. So I'm going to grab a piece of our Granny Apple Green. Hi, Cheryl. It's really nice to see you on here. I haven't seen you in person in, well, ages. Okay, so we're going to use this other die to cut out one of these. And everybody who's commented is going to be entered into a draw to win one of these cards. So that is always fun. I'm actually a little behind on my draws. I didn't realize I was until I was sitting here looking at cards going, I didn't send these. Well, that's because I didn't draw yet. So that is going to get all caught up in the next day or so. All right, now we can put our machine away. And if you like this machine, but you don't know how much you'll use it, there is a smaller version, and it does cut most, it does use most of our dies. There's just a few, especially maybe the embossing folders, that don't fit into it. But this is the little mini guy, and he's so tiny, and he's really nice and light, and he just uses smaller plates and smaller dies. So if you're interested in either of those, I can have a conversation with you. Okay, so now we've got our Granny Apple Green, and we've got our piece to go in here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back of here. And I love this set because it layers so well. Just put that down there. This is a pretty simple card, just using, you know, layering of paper and a little bit of ribbon. And I think we can maybe add to this some beautiful rhinestones, because who doesn't love rhinestones? All right, so I'm just going to add a little bit of our Stampin' Seal here, plus that down on there. And this, I'm going to use dimensionals. Yes, I am. When in doubt, use dimensionals. Okay. And I'm going to put one in the middle just so it doesn't sag. There we go. I'll peel these off. So the nice thing about this paper is that, you know, there's so many different ways that you can use it, and there's so many different color combinations. There's that really nice rich raspberry, and there's that poppy parade for the strawberries. So there we go, and we'll just grab a couple of these. And this is, oh no, I wanted to use this end. This has this nice sticky end, and it helps pick up things if your fingers are not working, which mine are not today. I have some paint in my hands today, so this helps when I have that, which means I'm using my hands a little bit less. This is the Take a Pick tool. So this has some like putty on the end, and it's great. Okay, so there we go. We've got card number 1, and of course, as always, it's a great idea to put on the inside some white paper so that we will be able to write inside of the card, because you don't want to write inside of this dark one. So I'm going to cut this down. Got some paper already, and we just want it to be on the inside, so it just needs to be that 4 by 5 1/4. Yeah, this blue is, you know, it was one of the last colors that I actually purchased when I just finished getting all my colors. This was probably in my second to last order. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I love it. It's so bright and beautiful. So that one's called Pacific Point. Now it's always nice to give our the inside of our card a little bit of something exciting. And so that's what we're going to do here. We're also going to do our envelope at the same time. So here's our envelope, here's our paper, and I'm going to show you the stamping technique that I use to make this background paper. We're just going to grab our blue and So we're going to start with this one and then move to the other one. So I have lots of blocks around, so if I can do it, I will do it. So we've got our Pacific point, and I'm going to do this full strength. I'm going to do this on the inside of this card and also on our envelope. So I'm going to ink this up, and we're just going to come down in the bottom corner. And you know what I almost did? I almost forgot my pad. That would make me sad. There we go. How do I want to do this? Maybe like that. I'm just going to stamp that. So really beautiful blue. And I'm not going to clean that off yet because we're going to use it again. I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap paper and have this all ready on the side here. I'll show what we're going to do. So we're going to be taking the same color and we're going to ink up our stamp. And then we're going to stamp off to get rid of some of that blue. And then we're just going to come right over top. And that's how we get that lighter color. So it's all the same color. It's just lighter. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on this envelope and our next envelope as well, because we might as well make our two envelopes at the same time. So on this one, we're going to just do the flap, and how we're going to do that is we're going to use our scrap paper. And I'm not going to go across the whole flap. Instead, I'm going to just get little bits off of the edge. Just like this. So we're just coming along the edge. Yeah, stamping off is a great way to get two different colors out of your stamp pad. And just going to turn our stamp one more time here and go like this. Okay. And keep that one to the side, and then we're going to do the same technique. We're going to do our stamping off. So do it to the side and then come back in and go right over top. Bring this closer to me so I make sure that I am lining up. There we go. Turn, turn, turn. There we go. So this is a nice way to make our blueberries look more realistic. Okay. We're almost finished. And on the other envelope for our next card, I feel like I missed that stamp. Okay, I'm going to come back to that. Figure out what I've done here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I got all confused. Here we go. And one more. There. Okay. So we've got blueberries on that envelope, and then we're going to use this other envelope, and I think we'll just do some stamping in the bottom corner on the front. Just going to make sure I've got my do. And we can just do 3 blueberries in this corner. And you could do this if you had Night of Navy as well. You could come in and do the same technique to make, oops, I'm just going to do that again because I came off the stamp pad a little bit. To do darker berries. There we go. Okay, so now we've got both of our envelopes ready for when we are finished our cards. I don't think we need that for the moment. Okay, I should probably clean these off very quickly. They're chamois. Sorry, I'm shaking the table when I do that. Chamois is good to get ink off of your fingers too, which I've been doing a lot of stamping today. There's some green that is deeply embedded into my skin. Okay, put those to the side. And now we have our, that's what we need to adhere. I knew we were forgetting something. So I'm just going to put some of our Stampin' Seal quickly on here. I'm going to put this inside of our card. And the nice thing is that these sentiments are not very specific. So this could be a thank you card. It could be just a hello, hope you're well, which I like to send a lot of those right now. People are feeling a little lost. And I think getting a card in the mail is a nice way to do that. Okay, so card number 1 is in the books. Card number 2, I'm not going to show it to you before I start. We're just going to get started. And this is a, we're going to use the same color base. Need my paper trimmer. There we went. Okay. And we've started the same way we did with the other card. So it's an 8.5 by 11 cut in half. And we're going to score it in half at 5.5. I know it makes me think of spring and summer and eating berries at the side of the road at the lake. Anyway, so here we go. We've got our card, and we're actually going to be using our card this way, and I'll show you how. So right now this is 5.5. So in half, that would be 2 3/4. So we're going to do another score line at 2 3/4. 2 3/4, not 3 3/4. This is one of the other ladies in my group sent me a card with this technique. And it is a really beautiful card, and you're going to see how awesome it is with our dies. So we're going to score this right here. And we are going to glue this part down. I'm actually going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus, because we want this to stay down, and this is just a bit stronger of an adhesive. Okay, so our card is going to start like this. Now, I showed you how to make this background, and we're just going to cut out a piece that is going to go right inside here. So, I need a trimmer again. And what do I need? I need 4 by 5 1/4. So I need 4 inches this way. I did a little boo-boo here. 4, 5 1/4. Yeah, let's just trim off a little bit of this. I'll be able to use this piece on another card. That's the fun thing about making your own background. Okay, so we want 5 1/4. by 4. Now, it's pretty that way, but okay. There. Put my trimmer away for a moment. This piece is going to go down inside of our card. I think I like it that way. So I'll grab my adhesive. So if you haven't yet, you only have a few more days to order your paper pumpkin for this month. It looks very pretty, the color scheme and the, I think it's supposed to be one really about caring and showing love and things like that. And so, yeah, if you want that, you need to order it by, when do you need to order it by? The 10th of February, and then it gets shipped out the next day. Paper Pumpkin is a subscription, if you haven't heard of that before. Okay, so I need a piece that is going to go into here. And so as I said before, we cut this at 2 3/4 by 4 1/4 is this space. So we want to cut this at 2 1/2 by 4. Yes, 2 1/2 by 4. So I'm going to actually cut off this piece right here because sometimes it doesn't give some stability to our designer series paper. So I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to come here at 2 1/2. Cut this, and then we're going to go at, what did I say, 4? I think I said 4. Yeah, 4 1/4, so this will be 4. And this basket, I love this side of paper. I may be very sad when we don't have celebration. I can't get any more of that paper. It is so pretty. Okay. So now this piece is going to get adhered to here. And if you didn't want to make your own background, you could use this on the inside. It's also very pretty. I just wanted to try that technique. But you could use this side of the paper, not a problem in there if you didn't have all the colors or you just didn't feel like doing that. So just put that right there. Okay, now this is where the card gets really fun. We are going to grab our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And we're going to use 2 more dies from the same set. We're going to use the largest and the second largest of these really pretty frames. So they have a nice scalloped edge and stitching. I just need a little bit of white paper. That is not a big enough piece of white paper. This is okay, and we need our cutting plates again. So, no embossing with our machine today, just some cutouts. We put down our paper, and then we will put down. That fits just perfectly on there. These are both being cut out with white. Now, if you have a straight edge like this, if there's any way for you to actually turn your paper, I'm going to do that. I'm going to just put this in at an angle. And the reason is that when it hits the roller, then it won't have that really loud bump. It'll go over much easier. If you have to put it through straight on, it doesn't matter. It's just a little bit easier to get through when it's on just a bit of an angle, so that it doesn't come in right at that edge. So that's that little popping sound. There we go. Okay. So we are finished with this, and as you can see, these guys just pop up and tucks away a little bit smaller for us. Okay, so there we go. We have our 2 frames. Now, we're going to start with this one, and we're going to just put it right inside here, and we're going to adhere it down. A little piece of something on there. Oh, there it came off. Okay. This is nice. It shows all the berries. I think that's pretty straight. I'm not sure that it is. I didn't press down yet, so that's good. Sometimes when there's stuff all over the background, it's hard to see. So I'm going to grab my... This is not only used for stamping on, I also really like it for the lines, the grid lines. Helps me line things up a little bit better. Now, you don't have to worry about it being perfectly centered. That doesn't matter. It's more about just being straight, which I hope it was. Well, it's a handmade card. That's the beauty. Okay. So now we're going to stamp on this, and I'll show you how this is going to work. We are going to be using the sentiment, wishing you the very best. I like this sentiment, especially because it can go really nicely with, which one is this here? There we go. With our strawberry set, as I mentioned, this could be wishing you the very best, and then on the inside you could put happy birthday, you sweet thing. So if you wanted to make that happy birthday, or you just write in happy birthday. Okay, so this is our one that's going on the outside, and we've got our sentiment already, and we're going to be using Pacific Point again. Go. And ink that up. Okay, that's all inked up. We're just going to come down in this bottom corner, and again, I'm going to line up my thing on here. See if I can do that the best that I can. Make it nice and straight. Wishing you the very best. Finish with our blue. We're going to come in with our Granny Apple Green, and we're going to do a little bit of stamping with a leaf. So, I've already cleaned these, so I'm just going to take them off. And we're going to replace them with which leaf? I think I'm going to try this one this time. So we're going to get the outside and the inside all ready to go. Put that to the side. Okay. So again, we're going to use full strength for the outside of our yeah, maybe like that. Stamp that. And then we're going to stamp off. Where did my scrap paper go? Here it is. And we're going to do the stamping off technique here as well. Apparently there's a new name for it. I don't know what I think it's called generational stamping. I don't know, something like that. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure that I stamp it on my pad. The reason being is it might leave part of it dark and part of it light. And then I would have the same thing happen on my project, my nice project. It's almost finished. So here we go. Stamp that. There we go. So it's just a lighter color there. So put those to the side. I'll clean them afterwards. And then put away. And man, I love this Granny Apple Green with this Pacific Point. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing that we did on the other card. We're going to, yes, you know what? I was using these scissors when I cut the ribbon before, and they were not as good. No, these are the Stampin' Up ones. So, okay, so same idea. We are just going to put a little bit of our Stampin' Seal on the back here. I want to make sure that I line it up with the grooves. So I'm going to go in 1, 2, 3, the fourth one in. This is not so delicate that it's going to go right in between. But I just want to make sure it's in the same spot on both sides. So then we'll just wrap this around. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. And put that into... going to pull that a little bit tighter. There we go. That's better. There. Okay, so now we'll grab this and do another bow. We'll just slide this under. Just want to make sure that we have enough that it's easy to tie. Now I like to tie my bows upside down, just like this. And if you're watching this later, like on the recording, feel free to comment so that I know that you watched, so I can add you into the draw. So, and another way to get in on that draw is to vote Tuesday night to sometime on Wednesday, whenever I get around to checking. We vote on which paper or which stamp set or whatever it is that we decide to vote on. I did that upside down. Oops. Let's start that again. It's the nice thing about the bow. And when you do it this way, the nice thing is that it's then tied and you don't have to be making sure that you're grabbing onto it. Oh, my fingers are not working tonight. Sometimes I think I should do this a little earlier in the day. My hands get stiff in the morning and then stiff again at night. Okay. If you wanted to do just a knot around here, if your fingers are not cooperating with you, like mine, then you could do that too. What's upside down again? You know what? I don't care. I actually kind of like it. I'm not tying it again. So, okay. There we go. Give that a nice tight pull. And that edge was a little bit. There we go. So now this is the cool part. We are going to adhere this on just like this. Now the best way to do this is to come right on here, and then you know this part is definitely going to be attached, so I've done a little bit on the card and a little bit on there, and then you just want to line it up in the middle. And there you go. So now you can write inside, no one can see it, but it is a really fun fold to finish that card off. And we've already made the envelope because we made it at the same time as our other one. So here's this one. And where's our other card? It's over on my left. And there you have it. 2 cards using our Fairy Blessings. And I really hope you enjoyed this one. I love it. I love this set of paper. And I'm really looking forward to making some more for you this week so you can see other ways to use this set, because I will continue all this week making cards with this set of paper and stamps. So anyways, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you don't already follow my page, I would appreciate that. And if you're interested in getting our newsletter, then at the top of the Facebook page, there is a spot. It might be under more or something like that, but there is a spot that you can sign up for our newsletter, and then you can find out about all of our classes. I will post them on Facebook, but then we can do some stamping together, and that'll be super fun. Anyways, thanks so much for joining. I really appreciate it, and take care. Bye.